Hey, so we're in Burnsville, Minnesota again. This time we are at Ineffable Brewing. Ineffable is a turnkey brewery. This spot used to be Nutmeg Brewhouse. And also I know one of the brewers here came from LTD. So to be completely honest, I feel like this should be a better experience than Nutmeg. But yeah, let's go find out. We just finished up at Ineffable. We couldn't really remember what it actually looked like as Nutmeg. So far as like the tap room goes, like how if it looks better now than before, neither of us could really remember. But to start off with, I ordered the white stout, which was a collab with LTD called Effing Limited, which had marshmallow, chocolate, vanilla, and coffee. It had quite a bit of like a toasty marshmallow flavor to it. Pretty enjoyable, kind of easy drinking, even though it was a stout, but it was just kind of a tiny bit heavier body, kind of paler ale with all these dessert flavors into it.
And then I had the Yabba Dabba Doo Strawberry Milkshake IPA. So that was a strawberry milkshake IPA that had lactose in it. Jesse pointed out after having a drink of it that it did taste like Fruity Pebbles, and that's something I didn't pick up on right away, but you know, with the name that kind of makes sense. And that's definitely what it tastes like, so it was a good, nice milkshake IPA, which is something I haven't had in a while, and I don't have that often anymore because there's not around as much anymore, it seems like. So it was a bit sweeter, especially if you're having typical, IPAs, West Coast IPAs, it's going to be a lot sweeter. So that kind of surprised me, and I kind of forgot how sweet those were, but I liked it.
So for food, we shared an order of cheese curds to start off with, and those came with a dipping sauce of what they called garden jam. And I really enjoy these cheese curds. They had a really nice fry to them. They're really crispy with good cheese inside. And the garden jam I think it was kind of like a tomato and like jalapeno. I was trying to figure out what was in it. We didn't ask. Didn't say on the menu either. But it's kind of a little bit fruity, but it didn't have like a specific fruit taste I could place. So I think it was just kind of like a fruitiness that like you get from jalapenos, because there was a tad bit of spice to it. Yeah, those are really good cheese curds. And then I had buffalo wings, which I thought were pretty good buffalo wings. Solid sauce, juicy wings.
And then I had chicken tenders that were covered in buffalo sauce. A lot of the menu was like really barbecue heavy, and we just had barbecue yesterday, so I wasn't really feeling like having even more barbecue, so I went with the chicken tenders covered in buffalo sauce, and that was really good. The batter, you could tell, had some seasoning to it, so there was some flavor there, but then the buffalo sauce was really good as well, and I'm a huge fan of anything that's buffalo. So
yeah. For reference, last week's video, Storm King, for us that was yesterday or last night even. So I don't like. And then the kitchen here, is called Mr. D's Wings and Things. So on top of just having barbecue yesterday, I felt it was necessary to try wings. They put it in the name, so.
So we also ordered a flight just so we could try some more of the beers. One of the beers on the flight was called Hindsight 2020, and I have to read off the list of what was in it because there was so much going on. So it's a wheat ale with cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, orange peels, juniper berries, clove, and champagne yeast. So that one, for me, I enjoyed it actually. It was very heavy on like the cinnamon, clove, a little bit of nutmeg flavor. Like those were the dominant flavors that came through for me, but I still enjoyed it. It was something that I think like a 4-ounce pour would be perfect for me. I don't think I could do anything bigger than that with that kind of beer with all those flavors going on. It's a bit much, but I did enjoy it.
So yeah, second on the flight would have been the West Coast IPA, Tropical Drought, which was brewed with Falconer's Flight and Cascade hops. This one was a bit like grapefruity, piney, kind of your classic West Coast IPA with golden malt bill. So it was mostly the hops out there. I thought it was pretty decent. It wasn't too overpowering bitterness wise. It was a pretty easy drinking West Coast IPA.
Next on our flight, we had a brown porter. No name for this one. It's an English style brown chocolate porter. I think Jesse can touch a little bit more on at least how the style is for this one. This is something that personally I've not had a lot of, and Jesse was even teaching me a little bit about the style while we were drinking it. So
the English brown porters are just kind of like a more historical style. It's the in between of the English brown and a porter. Historically, there's going to be some roasted malts in there, but they're not trying to get that black color, because at the time they were brewing just what they had and what they were going for taste wise. And it kind of ends up being very nutty, very chocolatey, more on the nut side of this, like kind of a hazelnut almost flavor to it in this one, and then like a little bit of chocolate, and also kind of a softer, more fuller, robust mouthfeel to it. And yeah, to finish off the flight, we got an Irish Red Ale, which I specifically picked because when we were looking at the beers to choose from the flight, I was like, I don't know the last time we tried an Irish Red Ale. Like, let's just get a little bit of it to try, and I really liked it. It was very, it had a bit of a like toastiness to it, a little bit of almost kind of like cherry like aroma to it. It's a really nice beer and kind of a nice way to switch it up from what we typically do.
Agreed.
What was your favorite of the day?
My favorite was probably the Tropical Drought, the West Coast IPA. West Coast IPAs for me are something I'm trying a lot more now that I'm a little bit farther into my own craft beer journey or experience. And so I feel like my palate has expanded a little bit now, and I'm starting to really enjoy and appreciate West Coast.
Yeah, my favorite, I think part of it was just kind of, because I was trying to decide between two. I landed with the Irish Red, but I was thinking about the White Stout, just because I just really like marshmallow, and it was just very marshmallow forward. But the more I drank out of that taster of the Irish Red, I was just kind of like, it's just so refreshing to like kind of go back to something that I haven't had in years, and it was a good iteration of it. So I really enjoyed the Irish Red. Good food and pretty good beer. I think they did a good job, and I was pretty happy with it. So yeah, we'll see you next time. Thank you for commenting, liking, subscribing, and make sure to ring that bell.